All right, let's get into it. On our left, Anane, and on our right, uh, Chase Emmer. I don't really know either of these fencers too well. Chase Emmer is from the Marcialis Foundation, um, one of the younger American fencers, but definitely on track to be on the team at some point. Getting some very good results. Okay, interesting. I feel a little bit that maybe Emmer was in the attack and that Anane try to do like an attacking prep. But anyway, it was one light off target. Let's see here. Anane is putting on the pressure. Interesting. He broke off his attack with a kind of a bait. Now Emmer, of course, and good attack by Emmer. Okay, he did a long kind of straight attack. The obvious solution to that is parry repost. Anane kind of tried to, but it looked like his tip slipped underneath the hand. So underneath the floor, basically. Okay, this is again a bit of a right-of-way touch. So, yeah, Emmer is saying that that Anane stopped, and then he went, but the ref says it's exactly the opposite way around, so that Emmer took the parry, he stopped, and then Anane did the attack. There is a lot of like back and forth movement from both of them. So they're basically trying to get each other into these right-of-way traps, which if you have seen my other videos, you know that I feel is a very unsafe tactic, and you're really just putting it in the hands of the referees at that point. But that was a very good attack by Anane, again with a nice lunge distance, but this time with a flick to the back. So just choosing a different target is a great solution. Same kind of attack, same long attack. That's why Emmer was able to get the parry. By long, I mean the arm is coming out. It's a real lunge. Again, by Emmer, same kind of thing. And then this time counter parry post by Emmer. So the long straight attack, it's very good against counter attacks. It's very good at catching your opponent even as he's, going back quite quickly. Ooh, again, this is a little bit of a right-of-way trap. You see, they can never agree on the right-of-way traps. But what the ref sees is that Anane starts his attack, he stops, and then Emmer goes into that attack. This is the danger of constantly taking a few steps forward, then going back. Basically, it's a gamble. Attack from the left. Again, they're both very clean in the sense that they're finishing their attacks with a lunge in that distance, which makes the parry repost the correct sort of solution. This is a one light, but again, ultimately it was kind of a right-of-way touch in the sense that they're both kind of going back and forth, and then they both sort of think that they have the moment. Yeah. This time, I think for me, it would have been for Emmer. It doesn't seem like he stops, but in all of these cases, you have to really watch it very, very closely to see if that is a stop or not. Yeah, this time there was no stop. Then you could see even Anane didn't think there was a stop because of how he tried to oppose in fourth. So he did a lunge, twisted himself out of the way, and parried in four at the same time. This was an attack from left. He managed to get closer, but he still finished with the tip first. But he did it from a closer distance than usual. Okay, exactly. The referee, you see she did a little hand motion with her elbow. Feel free to go back and look at it again with her left elbow. She's saying preparation there, which is absolutely true. Anane holding his blade way back and Emmer just going forward with the straight attack. This, I think, is Anane stops or finishes his attack, and then a window should open for Emmer to attack. But the referee is going to check to see if Anane didn't maybe restart his attack in time. This bout is honestly full so far of those little right-of-way traps. Yeah, so she's decided that he restarted his attack in time. Seeing as Anane is going so often straight, I really think Emmer should parry. Honestly, Anane should do the same strategy. They should focus on their parry reposts, which will force their opponent to then go more complex. That was pretty good. And then they can do a counterattack, which is kind of exactly what happened there. By complex, in that case, it's just that Emmer's getting very close with his arm back. Like earlier in the bout, he would have finished with a lunge already. Oh, that time he did a nice, it looked like a disengage. He did like a cut over to the 6, and then he came back around and did a disengage. I think around the 4. I have to go back to look at it again. It happened so fast, but that's just from the rough hand movement. That's what it looked like. Okay, again, he tries that same kind of a distance. So where he's finishing really with a full-on lunge, but he got to the leg. That was actually a very nice little bait and parry repost from Anane, but his light just didn't go off, slash his, you know, he didn't get the tip in properly, and Emmer was able to get a parry repost. But tactically, I'd say that Anane kind of got it. So I hope I said Emmer managed to get the remise after the parry repost of Anane. Again, a bit of a right-of-way touch. I mean, yeah, they're just... You can see how they're... Whoever's not getting the touch is unhappy about it. But if you're fencing like that, you're really putting your fate in the hands of the referee. She decides again, Anane doesn't stop his attack, or he resumes his attack, or he... or Emmer's attack was stopped, and then Anane went. There's so many reasons you can give for giving it one way or the other. So again, a remise. So Emmer is being very successful with his remises, which you know can be, if it's working, can be an excellent solution to a parry repost. But it's generally a solution to a parry compound repost. You know, parry direct repost. They got counter parried on the way back. Okay. See, you can hear the French guys saying stop, stop, stop. So again, it's arguments about it. And as I said, there's in basically every case there are 3 or 4 arguments for either side that you can make, and so the referee has to kind of weigh those arguments, but either side can protest by yelling why why they want to prioritize these arguments versus other arguments, and in other scenarios they'll just do the opposite. Okay, a counter time attempt by Emmer, where Anane did try to do a counter attack, and then Emmer parried, remise. Parried, the riposte was no, and the remise from Anane was off target. Okay, you see, they have he starts with a nice push, and then he finishes very classically, very long. Again, they're exactly the same kind of thing from Emmer, and this time Anane did a parry repost. Very nice parry repost. Flick to the back, but it just... flick to the back is always risky, so it just didn't work. The tip just didn't go off. He didn't hit with enough of an angle. He didn't hit with enough force. And Emmer managed to get the remise. So it's like 3 remises now that Emmer's gotten. But I think Anane is right to do the parry repost. He just needs to find a way. He needs to hold the parry. The solutions are hold the parry to get a really secure repost, do a more direct repost, find a new target. Or... Finally, he could parry and then use that to just start his own attack and finish like this. But he's always finishing straight. This time he got off target. Finishing straight allows Emmer, or gives Emmer, the opportunity to parry repost. By straight, I really mean it on a spectrum. The fact that the tip is coming out early and going in more or less a straight line. Something that is parryable. Something that Emmer can parry. And that's what's been going on, but Emmer hasn't been getting the touch right away off the parry, so that's fine. So Anane can try to go compound, but then he has to be worried about Emmer's counterattack. Here it's 1 light, but honestly, if both lights had gone on, I guarantee you there would have been protests from whoever didn't get the touch. Very nice parry post from Anane again, but he's just not getting the light on, and Emmer's getting the remise every time. This time, of course, it was off target, but that was a good attack. He baited Emmer. See, he waited longer to finish his attack, and that made Emmer think that he could get a counterattack. This time he tried getting basically a stop hit, and then as he attempted the counterattack, Anane was able to finish, but he finished off target. This was excellent. Finally, Anane got what he's trying to get and what he should be trying to get, which is a parry repost. This time he did grazing, circle 6, and then kind of a flick to the inside line. Not necessarily a flick, but an angle. She's going to give it attack off target. Yeah, it's just how it is. But again, the French guy is like, come on, he stopped sort of or something. I don't know. You know, it's always the same. And it's not just, I said the French because it's not just Anane who's saying it. I can hear the coaches arguing as well. And very nice parry repost. Again, excellent. This time he managed to do the parry repost even though Emmer did a very compound attack. So tactically, you know, officially or whatever, not exactly the right choice, but it was definitely the right choice and it worked. So that's the thing. So this tactical wheel stuff, it doesn't always work. You shouldn't always do it exactly, but it's good to have a good idea of what's happening. And this time it did kind of work. Emmer went more direct to change it up, and Anane managed to get the parry repost. So Anane right now is always getting the parry repost. It's a good strategy for him. He should focus on that instead of attacking there like he did. It's fine to attack when you want to defend, but that's just to put pressure so that you have space behind you. And his attack was not bad actually. You know, he almost got the tip on. But it just didn't work. And then Emmer set him up very well there. That was clear, I would say, because Anane was actually going back when he got hit. That was not the same type of right-of-way touch as before. That was a very good footwork trap, and Emmer just got a really nice straight attack because Anane let himself get in too close without having right-of-way. Yeah, Anane is baiting him a bit with those little attacks. I'm not really sure what he's trying to get. Okay, counter time. There you go. He's trying to get the counter time in the end. That was a very good decision. His parry reposts are really working, just like technically. And when I say technically, I mean they're working kind of no matter what the situation is. If Emmer's doing a big compound attack, he's getting the parry repost, like there. If Emmer's going straight, he's getting the parry repost. If Emmer is in the attack, he's getting the parry repost as a counter time. So what he can also do is try to get as a second intention. So do the attack, let Emmer parry, and then get a counter parry post. Again, he got the parry post, but didn't get the tip on. Counter parry post, there it is. But Emmer got the remise, and then did a really nice, block out or parry after the remise. But the remise was off target. It's a great parry post from Emmer. So the second intention didn't work there, but you see Anane tried it. He didn't try a remise. He tried getting the counter parry, but it didn't work. I think Emmer went to the flank, and Anane is always just doing this big four. So, yeah. He could change parries, for example, right? He could change to a circle 6 parry. He could change also the distance so that he's doing the first lunge, so the first intention of the 2 intention attack shorter, so that he has a little bit more space to get out, and so he's in a better position to get out faster. This is good. He has no pressure. This is the second round. It looks like the R2. I think it indicates the second round, and this is attack right, I'm pretty sure. Anane, I don't know why he... I mean, yeah, he goes straight with the arm and everything, but Emmer just doesn't stop. This one for me was actually the clearest of all of them. Really? Really? Wow, I really disagree with that call. But maybe it's because it's 14-11. I mean, look, referees are not supposed to be like that. I'm sure she's a great referee. But my point is just that you can argue really any way in those kinds of actions. And everybody's human. And which arguments get prioritized in our minds over others in that moment, it's really kind of up to the moment. Good remise by Emmer. I know that sounded very vague what I said, but here, I'll just tell you some of it here. That was a very nice remise from Emmer, so Emmer really managed to get remises, defeated Anane's parry post with remises. He did manage, what else did he manage to do? He managed to get him in some of those little right-of-way traps where the referee gave it to him. Maybe he got an attack or two. He did definitely got at least one attack that I can actually remember clearly. But I'd say really the remises were really doing it. Doing the heavy lifting, and then those right-of-way touches, the attack. Yeah. So here are the arguments. You can say, so let's say 2 fencers out of a more or less standstill position, or out of a position where sort of they both go back, and then they both start going forward in approximately the same moment. So you can say one starts earlier with the feet, and that's why they get it. You can say one starts extending the arm earlier, and that's why they get it. You can say, so you would say that, for example, if both started with the feet at the same time, then you would say, oh, he started with the arm earlier. Um, if one is coming forward and the other is going back, and then they hesitate, you can say, and yeah, so one is going forward, one is going back, right? And then there's sort of a disturbance in the force, and then they both seem to attack at the same time. You can say the guy that was going forward, he stopped his attack, and then the guy who was going back, he took over in the correct moment. Or you can say the guy who was going forward, he didn't stop, he just slowed, and so that's why he continues his attack, and so that's why you give it to him. Or you can say the guy who was coming forward, he was preparing. So although he was coming forward, it's not an attack. And so the guy who was going back, he's doing attack and preparation, which gives him right of way, which they traditionally do. Say that if the guy who's going back really sticks his arm out all the way really early and does an advanced lunge. But you see, I've just listed multiple arguments how this can just, how any kind of approximately simultaneous attack can just be given anyway by the referee, and that happens all the time, and many people believe that they know what they're talking about. And I just say that because from experience, when I have this conversation with people, I often get very strong reactions from them saying things like, oh, no, no, but you can always tell who's in the attack, and that kind of stuff. And my proof is that in those touches, whoever doesn't get the touch is arguing with the ref like 85% of the time. And these people are not arguing every time with the ref just because. They really think it's theirs. These are sometimes very important touches where they are trying to be secure in their touch. These are touches where they're sometimes down and they need to be conservative. They cannot just go in and take this risk. So it's honestly a confusing situation. And so my advice is for fencers to get this kind of touch kind of out of their game. Not necessarily completely. Every tool is a valuable tool, but too many fencers are relying on it almost as a primary touch. And I think they're not realizing how dangerous that really is. And I think this bout was actually a great example of it. So yeah. Either way, very is a good bout for Emmer. Yeah, well done.